Hey, Mortgage Coach team. I am here today with Tim Braheem. It's a Friday, although I get the feeling with you, Tim, it's always a Friday, man. Look at you, tank top, chilling out by the pool. You got it going on.
We finally got some good weather in SoCal, so it's a little too hot to be wearing anything else.
Good for you. So I think most everybody in the industry knows Tim Braheem. He is a leader, a speaker, a coach, leader of the Leadership 360 program. You know, and to me, Tim, you are just like one of the all-time best mortgage coaches. I don't think anybody's created more total cost analysis than you, and at the same time, coached and led more loan officers. You're in a class all by yourself. You are also the creator and the founder of the Perfect Loan Process. So I guess I just throw it to you. When you look at all the conversations you're having with your clients and loan officers today, what's a reoccurring conversation that you're having? What is some leadership that you can bring to the mortgage coach community that is the kind of leadership you're bringing to your loan officers?
Well, okay, so thanks, Dave, first of all, for the nice comments, and hello to everybody. There's always this like really interesting transition period that goes from either a purchase market to a refi market, or from a refi market to a purchase market. One of the things I think it's really important for us to always remember is that they're very different, and in a lot of ways, a purchase market is and almost always it's a healthier market long term if you take advantage of the opportunities that are involved in every purchase transaction, which I'll get to in just a second. So we were in Austin, Texas a couple of months ago for our Leadership 360 Masters Retreat, and Caleb LeGrand, who everybody in your community is familiar with, the question was posed to the group when we were masterminding, like, what are you doing right now for marketing? And Caleb said, I really don't do any marketing anymore. I just do the perfect loan process. And I went, exactly. I mean, that's what I turned off all the marketing too back in about 1999 and just did the PLP. And then it just stimulated an entirely different part of the conversation that I want to share, which is when you think about it, folks, whoever you're marketing to, it doesn't matter, the realtors, the accountants, the financial planners, or the clients. You're never going to have a more captive marketing audience. You're never going to have a higher effective rate of buying brain cells in your marketing strategy than you are during an escrow. When you're in contract, they've got to read or listen to any correspondence you send to them. Okay, so you're top of mind consciousness, and this is where you have the greatest penetration rate in any marketing that you're doing. Once the deal's over, they don't need you anymore. Before the deal ever happened, they don't even know who you are. But when you're in a transaction, they're going to look at whatever correspondence you send. So what are we doing to take advantage of those opportunities? So there's different milestones during the loan process that you should be paying special attention to, and really thinking strategically as to what you can be doing to create what Robert Cialdini, who's, if you haven't ever read The Power of Persuasion, Robert spoke at one of our business planning seminars about a dozen years ago. I think he spoke at some of Todd Duncan's events in the past as well. He really talks a lot about the law of reciprocity. So there's these very powerful moments during a purchase money transaction that you have. You have the time with which somebody applies with you is a powerful moment. Okay, you've just gotten done educating them. Hopefully you're using the tools in the mortgage coach. You've mastered fiscal literacy. You've earned some respect because you've done a great job in consulting with them. That's a moment of power. Okay, in those moments of power is when we don't want to bungle, as Cialdini talks about, the opportunity to ask for referrals or to cross-sell. Another moment of power, okay, is when you have gotten loan approval. Another moment of power is when you're drawing docs, and then, of course, when you fund. What are you doing during these strategic moments, like, say, Jim Bakhtiar is from Leader One Mortgage in Albuquerque, New Mexico? I mean, he has the most bad-to-the-bone plan. He spends about $350 a transaction, but it's well worth it because what he creates, I mean, Dave, I see the emails and listen to the voicemails that he forwards to me from realtors and clients, and they're like, you're unbelievable. The stuff that he sends out is really valuable stuff. So here's a few tips just for everybody to kind of sink their teeth into. At loan approval, I believe, and most of the people in the L360 community believe, that it should be the gift, if you will, the milestone moment, should be sent to their place of employment, and it should be perishable, meaning that it's something that they will likely turn around and hand out to others, which stimulates conversation. Like, who did this come from? So Brent Hicks out of Dallas, Texas, Jim Bakhtiar out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, they both have cookie machines chocolate chip cookie machines in their office. When they get a loan approval, they bake a dozen fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. They have a helium machine in their office. They blow up a few helium balloons, and they have one of the staff members deliver it to the person's place of employment with a few of their business cards, congratulating them on loan approval. It's brilliant. You can smell the chocolate chip cookies. People are going to look at the balloons. They're going to come to you and they're going to say, "Where did that come from?" And you're going to say, "Oh, my loan guy or my loan gal, sent this to me, and we just got loan approval on the purchase of our new home," which then stimulates and generates referrals. When it comes to a closing gift should always be non-perishable. It doesn't matter in my mind how much you spend as much as that it's really valuable. So let's talk about some valuable gifts. When I say valuable, it's something that you would use a lot. Like what are the things in your home that you go back to and you use consistently over and over and over again? So like Jim Bakhtiar sends out a really, really nice wine corkage kit. It comes in a beautiful wood box embossed with his logo on it. Has one of those great rabbit corkscrews. It comes with a couple of really nice knives in it for cheese cutting. I mean, it's a whole kit that you would use when you're entertaining, and he ties in the message very beautifully. Steve Grossman, who you've had interviewed in here before, does a really wonderful job with this. He's very strategic with it. So NJ Lenders is his company. He's in the East Coast in New Jersey. It rains a lot there. He sends out really beautiful umbrellas with the NJ Lenders logo on it. I mean, these are really high quality. They're not going to get like flipped inside out in the wind, really sturdy. Another thing that he does is he hands out the back jack chairs that you would put in the bleachers when you go to like the high school football game or the high school basketball game, and they say NJ Lenders on the back. Also, he has these really warm blankets that say NJ Lenders on it. And basically, he's just passing this stuff out to anybody he can. If his kids have some friends over, it doesn't even matter if those friends' parents haven't done a loan with them. He's saying, "Hey, come here a second. Give this to your mom and dad." And he's giving them a blanket or he's giving them an umbrella. And at any random high school football game or soccer game that you go to in his neck of the woods in New Jersey, you're going to see people with blankets wrapped around them that have his company logo on it, people that are sitting in chairs that have his company logo on it. It's a part of why the guy does 30 to 35 loans a month and doesn't spend a lot of money on marketing, because these folks during the loan transaction, when they have that captive audience, are using that moment in time to really create an impact and to send something out that's meaningful, that's going to really be a long-lasting memory.
I love it. So takeaways for the Mortgage Coach crew. We talked about the perfect loan process as being your marketing strategy, your number one strategy. I heard over and over just how they're emotionally connected. They want to deliver value. The names of the people that you mentioned, they're people that I've interviewed. They're folks that have, done more than 1,000 total cost analysis. I interviewed Steve last year. I interviewed Caleb with you a couple weeks ago. I'm going to put links to those interviews below. And then, the chocolate chip cookie strategy, bro, is huge. I still remember when I went and visited with Dave Ramsey at his headquarters in Nashville, and no one outdoes Dave. I mean, he's got a kitchen, and literally you come in, you smell chocolate chip cookies, you sit down in this Starbucks-like environment, and they bring cookies out of the oven. Now, obviously, lenders can't do that, but what a great strategy. Everybody knows how much they care. So, I like to keep these to just quick hits. I think you've crushed it. You've given everybody a lot to think about. Any last words of wisdom as we wrap up this call?
Yeah, you got to do it on every loan. You have to think like a business person and allocate like Jim Bakhtiar has done. He said $350 is his budget for every loan. His average check size is very large. He does a lot of government loans, so it's about 5% of his average check. And he just knows that's the cost of doing business to build a future business. Because what you're going to create, as Brent Hicks talks about, is he's not looking for raving fans. He's looking for disciples. He's looking to create such an experience for somebody to where they are evangelizing him when they're out in the field. They're an outside sales force, an extension of him, because he made such a big impact. But the common denominator of all these folks is that they do it on every single deal. It's not every once in a while, it's every time. And they also cross-sell the listing agent on every deal. That's another thing that a lot of loan originators that, you cross-sell a listing agent on every 10th deal, you're never going to get good at it. you're really slowing down your acceleration through the learning curve when you're just doing it every once in a while. Do it on every deal. I promise you, if you do, after a while, you're going to figure out exactly what to say, how to get the coffee appointment, how to nail the coffee appointment. And you had 3, 4, 5 good realtors in this marketplace. It's a life-changing event. But on every deal, discipline yourself.
I love it, Tim. It's been a fantastic call. Thanks for taking time on a Friday. If you're
Yeah.
watching this and you got value from this, like it. You're watching this on YouTube, like it. Down below the date that we did it, we'll have links to other interviews that we've done with Tim. Also, Tim has an incredible weekly video that he does. We'll put a link to one of those below. I want to make sure everybody in the Mortgage Coach is part of your community also, Tim. And
Thank you.
and folks, just every family gets the total cost analysis and figure out your budget, figure out how you're becoming more than memorable, how you're turning clients into disciples, put a budget around it, do it every time. Hey, thanks a lot, brother. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim.